Very excited. I'm here with Catherine Butcher, who has edited our top resource, which is our magazines. Catherine, how long have you been writing these amazing magazines?
Well, we've started our first one in 2017, so 4 years.
Wow, and how many of them did we sell at Christmas?
We sold out. We sold 250,000.
250,000 magazines. They're amazing. You write them. They're incredible. Tell me, have you got any stories that you love? What's your top story of where a church has used this?
Well, it was a little church. It was 20 people, and they decided that they would deliver it to every single home in their new housing estate.
Yeah.
And as a result, the ongoing size of that church is 80 people.
That is amazing.
And everybody got to hear about Jesus. So.
We couldn't really, just can't beat that story. And that's somewhere near Coventry, wasn't it? I seem to remember.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you 4 times the size of your church because you've given away a magazine.
Yeah. And how does that make you feel just because you wrote that magazine?
Oh, it's so exciting. That's why I came into journalism. I trained on local newspapers so that I could learn to talk this talk.
That's brilliant. And I love it. We've got this Easter edition right here in our hands, which is brilliant. I've had a good read. Loving it. We actually opened up with the one, we've got Justin Bieber, haven't we, in there?
We have Justin Bieber. I've been thinking about putting him in for a while and just sort of wondering, but he's said such a lot online recently about his faith and about being baptised. And I thought now is the time to write about Justin.
And he was baptised in a bathtub?
He was, and when we put articles together, I always want to make sure that people understand what we're talking about. So although we talk about baptism, because the person reading this might not be a Christian, might not know anything about baptism, we always have a little box that says, what is baptism? Who is Jesus Christ? I don't want to make any assumptions about what people know about Christianity.
And like his life, it's funny, isn't it? Because you would think someone like Justin Bieber had got it all. And even though he looked like he had it all, he still had incredible needs, he was incredibly messed up, and he himself always says it's finding Jesus that has actually transformed his life.
Yeah, that's right. His well-being was not good, and there's a well-being theme that runs all the way through this. So we've got meet James Lusted. James calls himself the 3'7" dwarf. I mean, he calls himself that, so I'm not being nasty in that way. And he's someone who's struggled with his height. But actually his well-being's brilliant because he knows all about Jesus.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then right in the middle here, I love it, we've used some of the testimonies and stories in here, reasons for hope. There's this incredible story here that we've got about an amazing couple who lost their son on it was an incredible accident, wasn't it? Terrible accident that happened where the coach rolled over an edge when he was away on a school trip. Must have been so sad, but I think it was the Christians who came round them. And
it was, and so they tell their story, and it was the words that a friend said to this lady. They said, Jesus is weeping alongside you, and that really struck her because she realised that Jesus identified with her. And yes, the Christian church gathered round and they cooked meals for them. They didn't even know who the people were, but they were looking after them and caring for them as they were struggling through the loss of their son.
It's such an inspirational story.
And that kind of story is really encouraging. But then we go on to look at digital. What is the digital age offering to kids? And so we always have something in the magazine for children, and I'm hoping that this will mean that kids will go online and they will play and become guardians of Ancora.
Fabulous. Great. I mean, that's just lovely. It's right in the middle, isn't it? So they can find it really easily. And then we've got this. I love a bit of history.
Yeah,
I love a little bit of history. This fantastic story here, which is all about in an Auschwitz prison camp, where when one of the prisoners escaped, people then, a whole group of them then actually would be put in a bunker and they would starve to death. Tell us, who is the shining story of sacrifice that comes out in this story?
Well, I chose this story because I wanted to illustrate something that shows why Jesus died. And Maximilian Kolbe offered to take the place of a prisoner who was going to be starved to death. And that's just what Jesus does for us, isn't it? He offers to take our place, and all we need to do is accept it. And that's what happened. So that's why we included that story. But yes, it's great to have a bit of history as well.
It's such a powerful story. I'm reading it just like you get like that sort of swallow in your throat, don't you? Could I have done that? Could I manage to do that? I think what an incredible. And the sad thing wasn't it, that the prisoner was actually found. They hadn't escaped. I think they were just found. So it seems so, in some ways it feels so, like it was such a waste that those people died. But on the other hand, there is this incredible story of sacrifice that we've been able to pick up on that illustrates the sacrifice that Jesus made for us. It's brilliant. It's so well done. And then we've got this brilliant section. Obviously, this is Catherine Hour's favourite section. This is the sports section. Catherine, who wrote this?
A cricket fan.
Okay.
So that way it's all accurate, and it's all about A.B. de Villiers, who's a great cricket player, who's really upfront about his faith. And of course this is an issue that's going to last beyond Easter, all through the summer, when people are going to be playing cricket again at last.
Yeah.
And so having an article about A.B. de Villiers seemed like the right time to have it.
Brilliant. And the front cover, that helps us understand that the whole magazine with this well-being theme throughout. Tell us, we've got Simon and Joanna on the front?
Absolutely, because Wellbeing Journey is something we're encouraging people to invite their friends to. So give them a copy of the magazine, say read about the Wellbeing Journey and join me online to have a wellbeing journey.
Brilliant. And the magazine is a great deal, isn't it?
Great deal, let me tell you. Amazing editorial. It's a great gift to give, and it's only 10p. Only 10p. It's phenomenal. You'll never get anything like this anywhere in Christianville.
Where do we find it, Roy?
hopetogether.org.uk is where you can get it. And if you order volume, don't just think of yourself. Order 20, 200, 2,500. Distribute them to your whole community.